Okay, I'm going to post another video. A lot of people have asked for videos, believe it or not, and well, here we got another one.
Now she's going to go into details about the flag for some kid who's on the beach on TikTok. Like, she needs a hobby, perhaps, and TikTok's not working.
Patriot you are. How proud of an American you are. Meanwhile, you've got the flag wadded up in your hand. Wadded up. Rolled up like an old Rand McNally map, crumpled up in your fist, sitting in your lap, whilst touching the ground and upside down. But in that same breath, I'll bet you're one of those guys that are out here like, you're not gonna burn my flag, I'll whoop your ass. Like, my guy, I've got one American flag in this house, and it's folded properly.
You know, we understand that if you're in the military or you grew up years ago, you understood don't let the flag hit the ground, how it's folded. You know, pretty much common sense. You don't have to be in the military. He may not. But she, again, has the same sort of righteous attitude, which brings attention to her social media. The lady, it's just nothing good comes out of this mess.
Sitting on the top shelf, you know, far away from the ground. I guess flag code is also not your strong suit. Anyways, wear sunscreen. Warning signs. Flag's full of them.
All right, so here's one of her TikToks in uniform. It's funny. I don't recommend using your cell phone when you're working and putting on social media. If I'm her first sergeant, I'm going to say, hey, young staff sergeant, I got something for you to do if you got time to F around with TikToks.
You've got everything from caution hot coffee to don't play with the toaster in the bathtub to all the red flags that new girl you're dating could be psycho. But nothing beats that.
Do not poop in the shower. That's what the sign says. Okay, this sergeant here, she's Army. She's what we called a Ted. When I was in the Army, we'd call her a Ted. Ted is typical enlisted dude. Okay, she's just a boot, and she sounds like a boot, and does not sound like she's deployed, or if she did deploy, she didn't see any action. Do not poop in the shower. Yeah, I was, when I first went in the Army, I was very surprised to see signs above the toilets, flush after use. But they had to be told, you know, these soldiers have to be told, you do have to flush a toilet after, you know, pooping in it. And you have to tell them more than once. Now, when I was a cadet, and by the way, a cadet is not a military service member. A cadet is contracted to be a military service member, although not a service member. And yes, we did get paid as a cadet. But even with cadets, yeah, we had to tell them, flush the toilet after using. Also, we didn't have a sign, but we needed one, not to poop in the urinals. Yeah, people were doing that. And I'll tell you now, in the Army, people are a lot stupider than they were when I went in. So do not poop in the shower. Yeah, need that probably a lot more often than you think. Okay? And we should talk about...
on video, is it exercising a constitutional right, or is it baiting law enforcement?
People are showing up with video cameras near places like military bases and police barracks. And when questioned about what they are doing, 8 on Your Side senior investigative reporter Steve Andrews tells us this can get a little heated at times.
Yeah, well, it was quite a confrontation outside MacDill Air Force Base quite recently. The people behind the cameras call them First Amendment audits. Well, these confrontations have the potential to get out of hand.
I'm sorry?
Am I being detained or am I free to go?
You're definitely being detained. Yes.
What law did I break?
Do you have some type of
What law did I break?
You see the identification.
What law did I break?
It was August 26th. According to Tampa Police, MacDill Air Force Base asked officers to check out someone videotaping outside the facility.
Why are you taking pictures of military base?
Is it against the law?
Yes, sir, it is.
It is.
Attorney Luke LaRoe watched this video with me. He claims it's not illegal to videotape a military base.
I think that from a general analysis, videotaping any government installation, any government person would be protected by the First Amendment.
Google First Amendment audit. Videos pop up like this one, where a New York State trooper confronts a person videotaping the compound.
I want to know who you are right now.
Or this one, where correctional officers...
This was actually sideways.
...with a camera over prison walls.
News kind of my face. Why you up here filming a military installation?
Why can't I not?
Why are you doing it?
Why can't I?
Why are you?
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 Why can't I?
Why are
Okay, so this is basically the way that one goes. I mean, you know.
No. What am I? No. I know you are. You're an idiot. I know you are, but what am I? 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 Infinity. No, I'm not. You are. No way. Knock it off. Cut it out.
Okay, and that's basically where that's going with these First Amendment auditors. Police really need to get it together, I think.
How are you?
Why can't I?
Why are we standing here doing this stupid, see?
You tell me you...
While some call this a First Amendment audit, the Tampa police called it baiting.
It's harassing the police and stuff like that. What I would recommend doing is call up the district attorney or maybe a police academy. Tell them you want the statutes for the state. It comes in a book. It's updated every year. And I think it costs about $35, and anybody can buy them. It's the state statutes for the entire state. If you look through this about these First Amendment audits, you're talking about, well, let's say criminal surveillance, criminal trespassing, stalking, and also voyeurism when they're peering into vehicles or over a counter. Believe it or not, voyeurism qualifies as that. And if you make a call, let's say to dispatch, you say, well, you know, we got this guy, he sort of looks a little suspicious. A little suspicious doesn't get anybody's attention. And if you do make the call to the police, well, for crying out loud, stick around and talk to the police. Now, if you say, you know, he's harassing somebody, he's stalking somebody, he's doing a criminal trespass or criminal surveillance or voyeurism, you're going to get a full patch wearer or a meat eater to respond to that one. So you got to make the call strong. And when the police come, also ask for a 1011 or a case number and a report. Tell them you're going to get the report later. And to do the report, they're going to need the perpetrator's name.
With respect to the Chinese calls, I routinely...
Military's become, let's call it, very confusing lately. We've got Staff Sergeant Woke over there who's going to point a weapon at you. We got Miley that's off the reservation. Then we got Schiller. And it seems like he's the one who's being brought up on charges. Let's take a look.
Communicated with my counterpart, General Lee. These military-to-military communications at the highest level are critical for the security of the...
Well, let's start off with Miley. The Joint Chiefs of Staff are there to advise the president. That's it. They don't have any decision-making. The president can choose to take their opinion or not.
Okay, this guy, I think his name is Jamerson. Let's see, what do I know about him? That he was a Marine. I don't know what rank he was or how long he was a Marine, but I got to tell you, his commentary is spot on. I mean, he's a very educated man. Like I said, I don't know what rank he was. Could have been an officer, could have been enlisted. Either way, he is very well educated, and he's calling it right on. I was on a general staff 3 times, and now I didn't advise anybody. I made recommendations. What the generals did in my case is they told me what to do, and we did what we were told, and we prepared briefings and answered a lot of questions, and we made recommendations, but we never advised them. That's not to say that's not the role, but that is their role. But their role is to make recommendations, provide advice, but not to a command authority. So Chief of Staff is not a command billet. As a member of the General Staff, I would talk to subordinate commanders. Okay, that would happen. But yeah, he's right. I mean, they don't make command decisions. That's not their role.
I don't care what president it is. So him talking to anybody about the president's authorization, it's tricky at best.
As a commissioned uniformed officer, it was a mistake that I've learned from. And I sincerely hope we all can learn from it.
Well, the perception that the military is involved in domestic politics, with the alleged statements, quotes from Miley in the book, they're involved. Talking to Pelosi, I just want the military to do that, be the military. I understand the general level, you gotta kiss ass and get some knee pads. This has really gone off the rails. Now let's take a look at McKenzie. He's about equally worthless.
Man operate with varying degrees of competence. Some of those guys are very scrupulously good, some of them are not.
We share versions of this information with the Taliban so that they can actually do some searching out there for us, and we believe that some attacks have been thwarted by them. And then we also...
Well, I guess McKenzie got the ones that weren't good. You know, this is when no one was saying, we made a mistake. General McKenzie, made a mistake. We underestimated. The excuse factory begins. These guys are really pretty good. Generally, we get info. You know, I think this was got Schiller kind of over the top, off the rails. I think a lot of people, he just seems to be the one spotlighted here. Everybody I've talked to says, what's going on with their military?
The Taliban is a tool to protect us as much as possible. And we share a common purpose. So that as long as we kept that common purpose aligned, they've been useful to work with. They've cut.
I'm not sure what the common purpose was. Instead of saying, we relied on the Taliban, we shared intel, 13 people died. We met a senator, or congressman, I can't recall who he is, asked a question. The president wasn't going to attack, but we're going to call him anyway. We got to step back and go, you're a Joint Chiefs. You advise the president. You give him your opinion. Whatever president picks and chooses what they want to do based on your advice. That's it. Miley got way too big for his britches. And then see Schiller, and I don't know how much of what he's doing is emotional, strategic. Houston, we got a problem here with these guys. Try to watch the whole thing in its format of just statements that are made. Nobody takes any responsibility.
I was communicating to my Chinese counterpart to de-escalate the situation. And I told him that we are not going to attack. President Trump has no intent to attack.
But there was no alleged attack. Do you see this? Like, de-escalate a situation that didn't exist.
Okay, yeah, this guy is definitely outside of his purview. I would say he's out of his depth. But anyway, he's got baggy eyes. Have you noticed that? So I would say to him, check those bags in check baggage, because they're not going to fit in that overhead compartment.